Call personnel meeting of Rochester School Board, November meeting order, first order of business, pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Entertain a motion for the approval of the October 6th committee, personnel committee minutes.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any questions? Opinion of those minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, terminations. We have JH, custodian, SB custodian, and MS cafeteria.
So moved.
Second. Motion made and seconded to accept the terminations of those 3. Any questions? All those in favor?
Wait,
Oh,
real
sorry.
quick. Will we have a discussion with the full board about those terminations in non-public? Just see what happens. No?
Again, just typically, we don't get the background, because if it ever gets contested or whatever with the hearing body on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there are other issues besides the personal issues, right?
No, because we hire and fire one
Yeah.
as a board.
With the full board.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Nominations. Kelsey Ventura, Secretary. Melissa Gamaroff, Counselor. Damian Bernardini, Teacher. And Marcus Walker, Custodian.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Stipends. And we do have some that I'll include on the addendum for the stipends. Katrina Taylor, cheer coach. Kristen Cyphers, yearbook. Allison Dolan, yearbook. Carla Deinscott, department head. And from the addendum, we have Gail Corey, CIRT lead coach. Katie Newbegin, CIRT assistant coach. Adam Black, mentor coordinator. Melissa Marcotte, mentor coordinator. Megan Wakama, mentor coordinator. And Caitlin Madlor, mentor coordinator.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Mr. O'Connor?
What does the CIRT stand for?
Critical Incident Response Team. So when we have unfortunately, staff member or family members that would be in accidents or hopefully not pass away, those teams respond and they're made up from various counselors throughout the district.
Any other questions? Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then we do have, from the agenda, we have a couple of resignations. Sandra Fontaine, paraeducator, and Nathan Locke, custodian.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 6, public comment. Anyone to speak on personnel issues? Item 7, under other.
Yep, 2, I believe.
Yes.
You have, okay,
Go
sure.
ahead.
Just a heads up, we have a termination you can anticipate at the board meeting. We're sending out letters to them, so I have one more letter to send out, but I don't expect a response, so that will be on the agenda. And I want to make an announcement. I've decided that on June 30th, 2023, I'll be resigning from my position as the HR director. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and work. I truly love working in Rochester, but it's just not the job for me. I find myself, my skills and my passion being more working with students and teachers, so I'll be looking for a building level position. If I stay here in Rochester, great, but if not, I certainly have enjoyed working with you. I want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I've had a great time here, so thank you.
Thank you.
Under other, we are gonna cover the 5-year, because if it's not an agenda item, we will cover the 5-year work that we have to do. So before we get into that, just make sure we don't have any others. Okay? So, 5-year committee passed all the other committees with going through the public comments that from the community survey, and we basically addressing our top list in our parking lot items. So, did you guys go line by line?
So
on
we
the
went
comments?
through from the comments and community survey, you go line by line,
Okay.
and then you make the decision, is it one topic? Like, what'd you call it, diversity, or no, culture, we were
Culture.
talking last time, we found a
Yeah.
catch-all word that maybe a lot of these were getting
Climate.
into.
Climate and
Climate
culture.
culture, or whatever the community says.
Okay. All right, so just, does everybody have the personnel top 3, which are staffing needs study, department by department, the elementary school LEA, and the drug and alcohol counselor?
I'm sorry,
Those were
I
the
don't know
top,
where you are and what you're looking
the personnel
at. Yeah.
top through our 5-year committees and whatnot.
It's a document that was on the Google Drive that was created.
I don't have any of the paperwork you're talking about.
Mr.
Does
Chair, if I
everybody
may.
have a copy of that, I think?
Well, it was handed out.
Mr. Chair, if I may, there was also the communication from 5-year that was emailed to the entire board, so everybody had the link for their committee. And this is a good opportunity for you guys to update if there's anything that has already been completed
Right.
before you go through this.
I think she gets printed copies though, I think that's the construction.
Could be the phone.
Yeah. I usually get printed too and I don't have it either, so I don't think it was printed.
If you want to start out with that.
Thanks. All right. We'll get your copies in.
Thank you.
All right, so the top 3 to cover what we had in personnel was staffing needs study, department by department, the elementary school LEA, and the drug and alcohol counselor. In the parking lot, the top 3 were staff retention, which had 2 votes, the professional development opportunities, and pairs and substitute pay. From the community survey, their choices or items to bring up were elementary school special education staff, the LEA, and licensed drug and alcohol counselor. So,
So what do we do from here?
so right now, we have an LDAC. It's just a matter of which could probably be taken off the parking lot.
It's number 3.
What's that?
It's number 3. It's not in your parking lot, it's your 3rd top choice.
Oh, sorry, yes, drug and alcohol, yes. Could be taken off from number 3. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Which can also be taken off from the community survey as well. That's what I was looking at.
I guess I would like to know, before we take it off the list, are those positions currently in a sustainable funding source? So is it grant funded for only a certain number of years and then they're gone? Or is it in the budget as staff?
Right. So, and that discussion has been had with that position because it is a grant funded position.
Yeah.
So the sustainability of it,
I thought we reorganized
Yeah.
positions at the high school to fund it.
A world language position,
Pardon?
a world language position.
Right, to fund the drug and alcohol. So we don't put it on the chopping block every year. So we have committed to the position.
Okay.
I believe, I could be wrong.
Again, we'll wait for Pavel
Okay.
for clarification on that, but that same discussion, Tom, came up with the sustainability of making sure that if it is in fact a choice, you
Yeah.
can't, sustainability of it. So let's go down to the comments from the community survey, and we can start, I guess, kind of coding them, if you will, and ranking. So more eyes on students and potential threats during outdoor recess. Doesn't speak to any particular position, per se. Supervision is typically teacher's duty or para's duty, extra duties.
I
So-
think it falls under staffing
Just
needs
staffing.
study, number 1.
Okay. And how are we annotating these?
Do you want me to take notes?
Or as far as,
Taking notes on the
okay,
document.
thank you.
The first one, staff needs study.
Second comment was additional staff for safety. I would want that with the same
Same thing. yeah.
Same thing. Third comment was behavior intervention programming should be number 1. Why isn't it on the list? We need interventions for kids who can't manage their anxiety, depression, anger, and social interactions.
Thank you.
It goes with I guess, programming. We talked about behavior programming.
I also feel like it falls under that same safety category. Behavioralists tend to be the go-to for that.
Is that more like staffing needs?
Yeah, yep, staffing needs.
You know, and I guess it talks about the programming should be poison interventions for kids who can't manage their anxiety, depression, or anger.
So that was also on, I want to say, special services
Should also
had
look
that
at-
on their list as well.
Okay, so the staffing for that, who would provide?
Yeah, the staffing, the program would fall under special services.
Thank you. Next comment was behavioral specialists at all schools offering proactive interactions with kids in need. Again, staffing needs. Creation of student and safety, creation of student safety and security department. Staffing needs and
Security.
security. Eliminate micromanagement of the superintendent of departments that don't directly concern him. And that was assigned to the evaluation subcommittee. And then, every year there's a shortage of paras. There are many reasons for this. For those of us that have stayed for many years, we have left making up for this shortage by performing the duties of 2 to 3 paras. There's absolutely no recognition for this or compensation. We are continuously losing paras to other districts or leaving the profession altogether due to severe burnout. When there is a teacher shortage due to lack of subs and they have to take on extra duties, they are rightly compensated for this. I am left wondering why, when a para is performing the duties of 2 to 3 paras, sometimes for an entire school year, there is no recognition or compensation for this. I truly think this is something that should be discussed. Paras and substitute pay. I think it's both staffing needs and finance, I guess, should look at that. Find a way to hire and retain talented educators. We lose too many every single year. Again, staffing needs, or just how we, I know we did the job fairs and whatnot this past year. Is that kind of review those?
Staff retention is in your parking lot.
Well, it's retention, right, so, yeah. I had about 16 comments on pertaining to retention. which is already on the list, one of the top, or should probably be moved from the parking lot. Flexibility and requirements for hiring teachers. Consider teachers having multiple areas of expertise with increased pay, business life experience being considered to attract new teachers. Thoughts on?
They're all kind of tying together.
Absolutely.
They're all different comments,
I-
so, but they're all
Very
saying
similar.
basically the same thing.
Correct, and I think, you know, without going too far, I think a lot of what's in the parking lot under staff retention
Right, it's gonna
could be
address.
moved up to the primary, you know, before we go too far about the parking lot, the LDAC position. Did we in fact change to make that I know the position is there, it's no longer a grant funded position. For sustainability, we changed the world language teacher.
At the high school, we moved one FTE to a LADAC, but we still have one grant-funded position at the middle school. The other thing that was on this 5-year list was, again, an elementary LEA, and we also did that through grant funds after a presentation to personnel. I think we talked in finance about it too, is over the next 2 years, using ESSER funds to see if it's gaining for us on the placement side of things, to see if it's something that in a year and a half, the district would want to consider absorbing into operating.
Okay, so the position is currently filled, it's just a matter if it stays on the list, it would be for sustainability, other than grant funding.
So probably put it into your parking lot, is my recommendation.
So the elementary LEA would go to the parking lot. We could move staff retention up to,
For votes on that.
right? So I would motion that we replace the elementary school LEA from our primary list, move to the parking lot, and replace it with staff retention from the parking lot.
Second.
Any discussion on that move?
I'm just somewhat hesitant because the current LEA is a grant-funded position, which is time limited. But if the plan is to evaluate the effectiveness of that position to make it full-time, then I would, yes.
It's, right, and it's not taking it off the list entirely, it's
Yeah.
putting it in the parking lot.
Yep.
So it would not be a primary topic of discussion at the time.
Yeah.
So we have a motion that's been made and seconded. Any further discussion on that move? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of doing the elementary school LEA to the parking lot and the staff retention from the parking lot to the primary list? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Sarah, you moving that for me?
Yeah, the formatting changed, so.
What's that?
The formatting
Oh.
of the document changed, I don't know how to get it back.
I'll work on that, you work on that. Oh, yeah.
I don't know who edited it.
Donna, they need your technical help over there.
I'll work on that, I work on the bottom.
Okay. do the next one on
All right, so going back down to the comments, it's a lot of it, incentives to employee and key paraprofessionals, so it goes to staff retention. Hiring of additional pairs, as many vacancies are left unfilled, back to hiring, staffing and retention. Rehiring a Latin teacher at the high school.
Staffing needs.
Your staffing needs under, correct. Again, keeping adequate staffing, keeping teacher pay rates more equivalent to surrounding districts is retention, and also should fall under finance. More therapists, psychologists, mental health help for staff and students. Definitely goes under the staffing needs. Biggest concern is staff retention. We're losing good teachers and staff to other districts that are paying more support for students with behavioral needs. They may not qualify for special education, but still need support in class. My child's classroom was evacuated, which goes on to a story. Invest more money and time into middle school athletics. Staffing needs, probably special services. Next comments, obtaining and retaining substitute teachers and paras. Another one for bringing back a high school Latin teacher again. Latin's important for those going on. Staffing needs, retention of staff, school counselors, and security. Special education para-educator hours and pay must be raised if you want to help the staff. Staffing and appealing incentives for recruiting and keeping staff with the development appropriateness curriculum. Should go to instruction. Substitute shortage, support staff shortages, staffing needs, teacher and staff retention, teacher and support staff raises and retention, teacher retention, student behavior, class sizes, and mental health resources for students. The district is having an especially difficult time retaining and hiring staff for a single reason. Many veteran staff are leaving and instantly making $20K higher in nearby districts for the same role. No secret, teachers are paid poverty level wages in many districts, but adjusting the pay alone in Rochester would make a huge difference. Staff retention, that's not possible. There's absolutely needs to be other financial incentives. We're all struggling, our health insurance expenses. Goes on to talk about our deductibles and whatnot that should be referred to finance. Concerns, moment staff retention. We need to work on hiring and retaining teachers and support staff. So the general theme of all the comments was basically retaining the staff we have. So that should definitely be moved up to the primary work.
We did that, right? Didn't we?
She did, yes, yeah, staff. So as just a quick review, our top 2 items to be working on in personnel would be staffing needs study, department by department, and the staff retention. In the parking lot now is professional development opportunities, paras and substitute pay, elementary school LEA, and that's in the parking lot to be reviewed because of the budget funding for the grant fund, and the LDAC to be, for the same reason, to be for sustainability to the budget. Is that?
So the next step, since you've already adjusted
Yep.
the top items, would be to ask superintendent if there's anything from as a district input at the next meeting to be added to this list for you guys to have your final evaluation of the top 3 and parking lot items.
All right, so now from, say that again.
So you would-
From
I'll
the
say-
district. Yep,
So,
go ahead.
Mr. Fuchsia, at the next meeting, if you could bring any district items that should go on to this committee, then this committee will review those with the superintendent, vote to where they place parking lot or replace the top three. And then that's what you'll send back to 5 years. So you probably will not be getting anything to 5 years until January. Okay? Or actually, their December meeting.
All right, so he's, all right.
I think he's got a,
Yep.
since him and I have been following along the process, I think he's got it.
Very good. All right. Any other comments pertaining to the 5-year work that needs to be done? Seeing none. Any others? All right. Do we have a non-public? Nope, no non-public. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.